What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Trent the Truth Show. I'm your host, Trent the Truth. Whatever you're doing, wherever you're listening from, thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to our podcast on Spotify and YouTube. It's the Trent the Truth Show. And then go ahead and give us a follow on social media. Trent the Truth, wherever you search, Instagram, TikTok, all of that. Real quick, today's episode is brought to you by Andy's Lawn Care Service. Andy's Lawn Care Service, where we provide you with quality and respectable lawn care service for your home and your yard. A Black-owned business since 2019. We provide the best service around Northwest Indiana with our services including power washing, edging, brush trimming, weed cleaning, snow removal, mulching, and we also provide clean out services. We can be reached area code 219-289-9168. Again, area code 219-289-9168. For pricing and availability, email us. We can be reached at andersonarmstrong28@gmail.com or dawnfranklin13@gmail.com. Contact us on Facebook at Anderson Armstrong or Dawn Eaton. Andy's Lawn Care Service. We gonna get you right. And man, if you like me and you care about how your yard look, go ahead and give Andy's Lawn Care Service a call. You'll actually be doing a twofer. You'll be supporting a black business and you'll be taking care of your yard for good pricing. Go ahead and check them out. And I always make sure I tell y'all, man, if you want to advertise your business, if you want to sponsor an episode, if you got any questions, comments, or anything you want me to address, email me at trentthetruthshow@gmail.com. Again, that's trentthetruthshow@gmail.com. If you want to donate to the cause, our Cash App is TrentTheTruth88. Make sure you put that $sign in front. Don't miss that. TrentTheTruth88. Always grateful for whatever you send in, whatever you donate, whatever you're doing. Just as long as you're engaging and you loving the Trent the Truth Show. So, and I'm really glad y'all been doing that. And I'm grateful, man. We're going strong. We're going strong with everything we doing. So we gonna keep it pushing, man. What we got today? As always, y'all know we gonna do our word of the day. Gats to have the shot of the day. I got some tips. And of course I got a good topic. I always try to make sure I put something good together for y'all. So just sit tight. I got something good. So we're gonna get it going. And everything that we try to do, we always just want to make sure that we are growing, staying educated, reading. Bun B said in the song, "Go read a book, you illiterate son of a bitch, and step up your vocab." And I think that's what we need to make sure we, make sure we doing. Make sure we stepping up our vocab. Make sure we read. On top of that, they got ebooks out here now, so if you don't really feel like reading, you can listen to a book. There's all types of apps out here. One of my favorite apps that I use has been this Word of the Day app. I love it, man. I've been using it for quite a while. It's been helping me with my vocabulary. Like I said, I stay in the loop. I stay in the loop of things. I find out new words. Sometimes I find out words. Well, sometimes I get words that I've already known. And then, it's just good to just stay refreshed on those terms. But it's always good to find out something new. So that's why I use that Word of the Day app. So what our word of the day, today's word of the day is going to be gossamer. Let's get that pronunciation.
Gossamer.
Gossamer is spelled G-O-S-S-A-M-E-R. Gossamer. Gossamer. Gossamer is a noun, and it means the very fine thread made by spiders. Wow, ain't that fascinating? I bet you didn't know that. Not really sure I did. I used to just call it a damn web. I didn't really know it was a term for that. And that's what that's one of the good things that the Word of the Day app does for us. It just helps us learn new things that we didn't know. Because I certainly didn't know that was a term for the actual web that spiders release. It's called a gossamer. And even with the Word of the Day, I always try to make sure I put it in a sentence just to make sure I can get a good understanding. I know how to use the word. I be pissed when I walk outside and I walk into a gossamer. Walking into a web, walking into a gossamer, some shit that a spider done put up. Maybe he trying to catch some food, whatever he doing. I be pissed when I walk into those. I hate gossamers when I walk into them. Gossamer. That's going to be our word of the day. Yeah, so man, just make sure you download that Word of the Day app if you don't have it already. Stay in tune, keep yourself together, educate yourself, do everything you got to do. Like I say, you just want to make sure you stand in that mental gym. Physically, mentally, that whole gym, that's just a part of your whole life. You just got to stay fit. And it starts up here. So do everything you got to do. Start with that Word of the Day. Start with that Word of the Day app, and just take it from there. For real. And we like to keep things moving along. I don't like to stay long. I be having other things to do. I be having hair to cut. I got to put my daddy hat on. Got to put my husband hat on. So when I be coming out here, I try not to be out here long. Try not to keep y'all, because I know y'all got shit to do too. It's hard to really keep, people's attention when you're doing podcasts, because they got to hear some shit, and you got to make sure you're saying something good, and you got to make sure you ain't really wasting time dicking around. And I understand all that. So I try to keep it brief. I come in, make my points, get out, make sure I give y'all a good show. And I think y'all love that. Just proof of that is people love, people love the show. People want to come on. I'm having guests the next couple episodes. I'm going to be having guests lined up. And it's just all beautiful, man. I love that. So keeping a good flow with everything, making sure I keep it all snappy. You always want to make sure you staying hydrated. Like I just have to just take that drink right there. You just get your water in. But even with that, you may have the kind of day where the day might not have been so good to you. You may have a day where the day was really good to you, to where you may want to take a shot, whatever it is. You may be deep in the game where you got to take a shot every day just to knock the jitters off. Whatever it is, we do our shot of the day. And with the shot of the day, what I do is, I keep a bar stock for my clientele, and sometimes they put me on different things. Sometimes I buy bottles and I put them on different bottles, especially when I'm buying different tequilas and whiskeys. As you know, I'm mostly a whiskey guy. And then when I'm buying my tequilas, I'm doing reposados. But sometimes I get put on different ones. So with our shot of the day today, we're going to be going with this El Mayor. Yeah, El Mayor's is a pretty nice tequila. I actually got put on one of these. I was in the store and I was looking for something to drink. Not necessarily, just something to keep the bar stocked with, something new, something different. And I caught this. This was something new, something, like I say, something different. So I'm like, you know what? Let me check out some El Mayor. So I gathered a little facts about El Mayor. Some good facts about El Mayor is it was made in Jalisco, Mexico, made in the lowlands, one of the hearts of tequila's. Jalisco, Mexico is the heart of tequila production. A lot of tequilas are made out that way. It's owned by the Gonzalez family. It's actually made in their distillery. It's family owned and operated for over 150 years. They got the tequila making history down pat. The meaning of El Mayor in Spanish, it means the elder or the greatest. The name just means to pay homage to the legacy of the family patriarchs and the time-honored methods used in the production, so they called it El Mayor. It's made with 100% Blue Weber agave, slow cooked in traditional ovens. It's distilled in small batches, which helps control the quality and maintain a clean, crisp flavor. El Mayor is unaged, offering the purest expression of agave flavor. Some of the flavor profiles, the aroma, it kind of got a clean, nice hint of agave, citrus, and pepper. The taste, smooth and crisp, with a herbal, peppery, and slightly sweet note. Finish is smooth, going down with a medium length and a pleasant warmth. You can get a good bottle, a nice 750 of El Mayor for about anywhere between $25 and $35. Good tequilas you're gonna find around in that range, but once you step it up and you start going into those status bottles, the ones I stay away from, you're gonna start paying in the upwards of that 40, 50, 60, 70 and plus range. And you probably don't get the same effect. You probably get a headache off those, but a good bottle, some good tequila, some good El Mayor, you can find in that good $25, $35 range. And it actually depends on what location that you're in. So, you catch a good store, you might catch it for $25. And that's actually where I caught it at, $25. You can get some good drinks out of the El Mayor. Some good drinks, some good popular drinks you can make with El Mayor. There's the classic margarita. Using El Mayor Silver, you can just add a little lime juice, a little orange liquor, and agave syrup. You can also make the Paloma using El Mayor. Add a little grapefruit soda or some fresh grapefruit, whichever one you got. Lime juice. Make sure you put a little salt on the rim. You can make a tequila sunrise. Add a little El Mayor Silver with a little orange juice and some grenadine. Now you go with the tequila sunrise. You can do a ranch water. El Mayor Silver with a little Topo Chico, any kind of sparkling mineral water, because that's what that is, the Topo Chico, and add a little lime juice. You can make a tequila mojito. Add a little El Mayor with a little fresh mint, some lime juice, some sugar, and some soda water. Just a twist or whatever version you want to make. You can do it anything for the summer. You can blend it. You can make a lot of people, they do summer drinks where they throw them in a blender. They got these new little ninja machines where you can make little drinks, nice little summer drinks. You can have your El Mayor neat on the rocks. You can have it however you choose. But in my community, we just crack that motherfucker open and pour a cup. And that's what we gonna do. I don't know what you having, but shit, go ahead and pour you something too, whatever you having. If you haven't had El Mayor, go ahead and grab you some. But whatever you having, go ahead and get you some. El Mayor Silver is gonna be our shot of the day. I don't know where you at. I don't know what you're doing. But it's 5 o'clock somewhere. El Mayor is our shot of the day. And they all said, cheers. Yeah, that was nice and smooth. Go down real good. You gotta be careful with this. The tequila. Tequila have your ass dancing. But get you some El Mayor if you ain't never had none. El Mayor, it's gonna be our shot of the day. Man, that was good. I gotta go ahead and follow that up with a little water. But we moving right along. Like I say, man, I try not to hold y'all up, man. I know y'all got shit to do. But anytime you get a chance to give yourself a chance, and you get an opportunity to learn something, you get an opportunity to pick something up from some of the OGs, you get an opportunity to listen to some of the elders, or you just, even if it's a stranger, you get a chance to just, find out some new information. So maybe it's something that can save your life. Maybe it's something that can help you. Maybe it's something that can advance you. And that's what I've been doing. And those things help me form what I call Trent's tips. And like I say, the Trent's tips is anything. Sometimes it's something that I got from somebody. Sometimes it's something that I come up on my own. A lot of times it's something that I come up on my own because I like to give gems. I like to just drop shit like that and give that to my people. Like I say, I'm a barber. So when people sitting down in my chair and they telling me about different things going on with them, sometimes I may have some kind of answer that I can supply for them. Maybe it's from a lesson that I remember from my youth, or maybe from listening to them, I can learn something. Either way, all those things help us inspire what I call Trent's tips. And I got a couple of those. And we gonna keep that going. So tip number 1, watch what you watch. Real simple, in and out. Watch what you watch. And that tip is really self-explanatory. You got to be careful what you're watching out here, especially when you turn on that TV, man. Your ass can get programmed, and you can get programmed the wrong way. One of the things that I hate about when I turn on the TV or when I'm talking to people, one of their main questions is do they ask me about some sort of bullshit show on TV? I'm not going to name any because I don't want to knock any. I know that's a lot of y'all favorites and shit, but do you watch this? I know you watch this. Or asking me a question about certain characters, assuming that I watch that shit. And a lot of times I don't. And they be blue when they find out I don't watch them bullshit shows, because I be careful what I pay attention to. For real. The brain is so crazy. It's like a sponge. And a lot of times we don't get to decide what our brain is going to retain for us. So if you can help that in any kind of way, just be careful with what you're paying attention to. Some of the bullshit that you watch, that shit can get ingrained in your head, and that shit can become a part of your life. And I hate that it's bullshit like that. It's so stereotypical. It gets on my nerves. You ain't got to go far. Or when I hear about the shows that I don't watch that people ask me, I can pretty much predict the characters. I can predict the roles. I can predict the writing. I know what's going on. I know somebody gonna get shot. I know somebody gonna show some ass. There's gonna be some titties out. There's gonna be some drugs involved. Somebody gonna be paying off the government. Some weak ass shit. It's gonna always show us in a terrible ass way. So what I do is I try to make sure I pay attention to the other things. I try to make sure I watch better things. I watch different shows, shit that's gonna help me learn. I watch shit like Shark Tank. Let me give myself a chance to learn a little bit of business. Or, I watch just cooking shows. I watch, HGTV a lot. You don't know. And I know a lot of that shit is blown up too. It's all Hollywood. That's why they call television tell-lie-vision. Which is why you got to be careful. Watch what you watch out here. You can get programmed the wrong motherfucking way. So be careful. Watch what you watching for real. Tip 2. This tip right here was actually something that I got from my pops, man. Rest in peace, pops. My pops was a minister, and one of his sermons, and this is something that I kept with me a long time, and I hold this dear to myself. And I see this as something that changed, and I want to make sure I reiterate this, just to make sure the people that didn't know this get a chance to learn this. Tip 2. Never forget to say thank you. Yeah, it sounds simple, right? Never forget to say thank you. The reason that that's a tip right now is because in this world today, we managed to get ourselves to the year of 2025. We managed to get this far. And we lost a lot of the morale that we were taught when we were younger. We lost just a lot of the just simple common courtesies that we know. The shit we get away from. And it's a problem. It becomes a real problem when you just forget to say thank you for certain things. We get ourselves to a point in life where we seem to think people are supposed to do some things for us. What we got to understand is people ain't got to do a damn thing for us. People ain't really supposed to do shit for us. And when people do things for us, when people do decide they want to help us with some kind of way, when they want to give things to us, when they want to lend time, finances, or whatever it is, resources of any kind, make sure you tell them thank you, because they don't have to do that. Our entitlement levels is so motherfucking high these days that it's a shame. It's a shame. But even if your entitlement level is going to be that high, make sure your gratuity level is that high as well. Make sure you're saying thank you. People don't have to do nothing for you. So when people do those things for you, when people take the time out their day to show up for you, when people take their own money to lend it to you, whatever it is, make sure you say thank you. And this shit is just so much of a lost thing. They don't even say thank you at McDonald's no more. You get to the drive-thru, they just hand you your food. They don't even say nothing to you. They just here. They don't even say come again. Like, damn, where's the customer service at? Where's your home training at? Where's just your simple human decency? Where the hell is that going? I don't know. But wherever it's at, I'm here to remind you to come find it. Don't forget it. Never forget to say thank you. It's incumbent upon us to be grateful. For real, we owe it to the people that do things for us. We owe it to the people that come before us. We owe it to the people that just understand what it means to help, to lend a hand, or what it means to receive help. Be grateful. There's a lot of things you can be in this life. There's a lot of places you can go in this world. There's a lot of shit you can do. There's a lot of things you can be. Do not be one of them ungrateful motherfuckers. For real. Because when you decide you want to be ungrateful, that's a hard choice. That's a harder choice than just saying thank you. You fighting something. Because it's a natural thing when somebody do something for you. It's a natural thing when somebody say thank you. Or I hand you some food, you're gonna say thank you. I hand you a napkin. Whatever you ask for, I hand it to you, you're gonna say thank you. But for some reason, we forget to do that with the people in our lives. That's our problem. We gotta fix that. I'm here to help you. Never forget to say thank you. It's important. Moving right along. Like I say, man, I get in the groove. After I take this shot of the day, shit just start coming in, shit just start flowing. And y'all be seeing me move my little papers around. I keep my notes and shit. And a lot of it is just stuff that I already know I know, but I just don't be wanting to just stumble over and, just make sure when I get down to my topics and shit, I make my points, I don't miss nothing. But at the same time, Joe, when this shit get to flowing, Joe, when I take this shot of the day and this shit get to going and I start making these tips and I start, it's like a train, Joe. We moving. It's hard to stop a train. So we moving right along. Like shit, we moving in, we doing good. We making good timing. You know what I'm saying? We almost, we almost ready to go ahead and do our thing. But we at tip 3. Tip 3. And this is important too. I really want to make sure I get this across. Tip 3. Don't lose sight of what's right. Yeah. Don't lose sight of what's right. And this is for the people that's you not where you at, but you on that road. You on that road. You know where you want to be, but you're not where you at, and you seeing a lot of people pass you up. And sometimes the people that's passing you up, they may be doing some shit that you wouldn't do, or they may be doing they might be getting fast money, they might be doing some under the table shit. Whatever they doing, that's their business, and it's not a knock to them. Shit, whatever they doing, I try not to knock nobody for whatever they doing. Shit, it's hard out here, and like I said before, we all in the hog pen. But see, when you see people doing those fast things, when you see people getting it in front of you, and you on your road, it's hard for you to feel like you're doing the right things. It's hard for you to feel like you're on the right path. You know, it's easy to feel like it's easy to decide you want to get into some bullshit. But what you got to understand, and what I want you to understand, is don't lose sight of what's right. You know the path you on. You know the path you on. You know what you want to do. You know where you want to be. You chose this route because it's not an easy route. It's a hard route. Everybody not on it. And like I said, you in your lane, you paying attention, you in your car, you driving, you seeing motherfuckers speed past. Okay, that's cool. But you don't understand. They may not even understand. It's a marathon. They living fast. They living for right now. You got a whole plan. Even though you understand tomorrow ain't promised, you got a whole plan though. You got a 5-year plan. You got a 10-year plan. You expecting to get old. So you got a retirement. You got a 401. You doing everything that you're supposed to do. So when it's time to be everywhere you're supposed to be, you're going to be the one to show up. They might even be there too, but you don't know what they had to do to get there. So always remember, stay what, man, keep the goals in front of you. Don't lose sight of what's right. It's so easy to look and see some bullshit and feel like, oh man, I'm doing something wrong. Like, no, you ain't doing nothing wrong. You the one, you getting up every day. You making that commitment. You putting that hard work in. And see, this remind me of that movie, Bronx Tale. Robert De Niro had to tell his son, like, man, his son was feeling like the working man was a sucker. And his father had to let him know, like, no, the working man is the tough guy. The working man is the tough guy. Because it take a lot to put that uniform on, knowing you don't want to. It take a lot knowing you got to get up here and provide for some motherfuckers. Because see, it's easy to get off into some bullshit. I know what I can do with this money. You know, I done sat up here and worked hard, did all this overtime, got this money, got this check fat. I done sat up here and cut all this hair. I done sat up here and did everything I need to do. I got all this money. Everybody else going to have fun, but I got to pay a couple bills. I got to buy some clothes. I got to buy some shoes. I got to buy some groceries. I got to buy anything, whatever it is. I got to be responsible. And to the untrained eye, that should look like the wrong thing. To the untrained eye, that should look like I'm slipping, or I ain't ready, or whatever it is, whatever you think it is. Don't lose sight of what's right, because you're doing the right thing. You're doing everything you're supposed to do. You know, you get out here, you working, all your money go to bills. That's a good thing. You being responsible. Don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of that. Fuck what they doing. You don't know what they got to do to maintain that. You stand steady. You stand on your road, because it's a marathon. Don't lose sight of that. For real. Don't lose sight of what's right. You owe it to yourself to see it all through. Because you started on this. You started this road. You might as well finish. You might as well finish. Don't lose sight of what's right. Man, Joe, this mayor, man, I may have to grab some more of this. And even when I grab my tequilas, I'm a reposado guy. But shit, man, looking at this mayor, don't they say this the president or the elder? Man, this motherfucker in charge today. Shit. Yes, sir. So we moving on. I'll be scrolling all on social media and shit. You know what I'm saying? I be seeing a lot of people on social media talking shit about the opposite sex, like, you know, talking shit, especially in regards to dating. I see a lot of mudslinging. I see a lot of shit talking. I see a lot of hatred. And what's crazy is I only seem to see this from all the single people. The people who ain't got no damn body. All the loud talk, all the hoopla about different people's shortcomings or whatever you want to slight a motherfucker for. You know, you want to make that as your reason why you feel the way you feel about men. You want to make that as the reason why you feel that way about women. All that shit could be cool. Especially when, you know, you getting likes, you getting shares, motherfuckers commenting, give me your phone, log off. when you getting bagged up like that, when you getting gassed up like that, it's easy to feel like that shit is cool. And and all of that shit might be cool while the hourglass, while the hourglass got more sand at the top. But as that clock ticks, you start to see that sand constantly falling. That shit might start to change your mind a little bit. For real. Everybody like to talk about what somebody brings to the table, but the real name of the game is musical chairs. Y'all remember musical chairs? For real, set up any amount of chairs and then have one extra person, then you do the amount of chairs. Y'all know how this shit go. Cut the music on, everybody start walking around the chairs. When the music stops, you better be in a seat or you're gonna be assed out. And I just couldn't help but make that correlation between that game and how human interaction works. I couldn't help but wonder and ask myself, like, what's the main problem? What are we really looking for when we do our deepest decision making? When it comes to who you're gonna be with, when it comes to where you're gonna end up career-wise. What's the bottom line? What's our bottom line in those terms? The terms we want to agree to, the terms we want to adhere to when we decide we want to choose where we're gonna work, where we're gonna live, who we're gonna hug, who we're gonna love. I don't know what you're gonna choose. I don't know where you're gonna go. I don't know what seat you're gonna end up in, fam. But I'm gonna tell you this. Have a motherfucking place to be. Because when the music stops and you don't have a seat, everybody gonna be looking at you on how you tweaked, passing up on the one chair, thinking you was gonna get a different one. Yeah. See, that's some shit I see all the time. I see it all the time in male versus female interactions. Some of the common conversations always seem to be shit that's really not important. And some of it is. Some conversations do need to be had. You definitely got to know what you get into. You just can't end up with any old person. And I get that. I really do. I get that. I understand that. So, you got to find out what's going on. But the things we make matter, the shit we hold on to, the shit we make matter most has little to no importance whatsoever when we consider finding love. Shit like finances, for example. That's a make or break conversation, Joe, between men and women in my community and plenty others. And to me, sometimes the shit gets disgusting. It's disgusting to me because we automatically decide a person's value based on what they do. For real. Like, we'll reduce a person or we'll give them praise depending on what they say they do. If you get asked what you do for a living, but that shit better be something that a motherfucker will respect, or you're gonna get treated that way. We decide how we're gonna treat people. We decide how we're gonna treat them. We decide what spaces they're gonna be allowed in our lives, and we do this as a way of feeling like when we hear a good thing, we treat them good. And we do that in a way of feeling like because they meet our expectations financially, then they're the best option for me in a relationship. And we be wrong. We be wrong as hell. Most high earners be assholes. For real, I swear to God. They don't even value the people who seem to appear beneath them. Like, a lot of them feel like their money comes with strict rules. I used to have a client that's a doctor. She makes good money, $250,000. And she tries to date people in that field, not because she targeting people that make that kind of money and no shit like that. It's natural. You a doctor, you gonna date people you see, you gonna date other doctors and all that other, you gonna be in that field. She dating doctors. Some doctors may make a few dollars more. They super assholes. She shared some stories and examples with me about that, and I was blown away. But the shit exists. The shit exists. Most high owners be assholes. And see, we don't even be knowing the hows and whys of why our financial gaps exist. We just be up here turning down motherfuckers or not even subscribing to love just because of finance. And we gloss right over the fact that motherfuckers just passionate about what they do. We don't even care about that. There's so many underpaid professions out here, it's ridiculous. But see, those people don't necessarily be caring about how much they get paid. They don't care about how much they make. Just as long as they can, just as long as they can feel good about what they're doing, just as long as they can live good, they can start there and they're going to start building. They just want to serve. They just want to serve. They care more about their communities and the people coming behind them than trying to be on Forbes. They don't give a fuck about that. Everybody ain't all hurried up for money, especially because somebody gonna always have at least one more dollar than you. For real. Bob Marley once said, money is numbers, and numbers never end. So if it takes money to be happy, your search for happiness will never end. And that's true. Numbers, that shit, somebody gonna always have at least one more extra dollar than you. Somebody gonna have always some kind of something more than you. So if that's what you're chasing, if that's one of your deciding factors, you'll never get your goals met. But see, we make that matter not knowing the factors. What are some of the factors that widen the financial gaps? What we got? Instantly, you just think of shit like we got mass incarceration. We get in trouble for any damn thing, man. What? Whatever the fuck it is, we get in trouble for it. We get ass slammed for it. We go to jail. The same thing that a woman to get grace for, men don't get that in the court of law. And I ain't making no excuses for the behavior. They went and got themselves in trouble. They did the shit, but at the same time, they get slammed a little harder. And then and when you got that motherfucking flag on your back, shit, you can forget it. That's gonna greatly affect your motherfucking earning potential in the workforce. It's over with. They're not gonna hire you. Then we got education. Women, especially black women in particular, are the most educated group. Shouts out to all women, especially black women, my sisters. But see, they kicking ass in that department. They gonna run circles around your ass in the education field because they gonna keep going. That's what they do. A woman shit, they nigga that shit. You mean they going to school till they 30. They getting every letter. They gonna have more degrees than a thermometer. That's what they going after. The job sector differential is so crazy though. Like, by default, men and women, they target different jobs. They target different responsibilities. One seeks fulfillment and the other seeks finance. And neither person is wrong because it's a heart and it's a mind battle. But what we got to understand is we need both to live. We need both of those things. We need both of those to love. We need both of those to survive. But we too busy letting shit like that separate us. Then we let it trick us into believing that we'd rather be alone than to feel like we stooping down or lowering our standards some sort of way. Now we hide behind all the social media terms like, bullshit terms like emotionally unavailable or toxic. We're not even allowing no kind of help. You got a problem for every solution. You want to put that blame on them. You can tell yourself whatever you want to tell yourself that allow you to feel good. You can tell yourself whatever you want to tell yourself to make you sleep at night. But don't take away from the fact that those are bullshit standards. You got to look in the mirror and realize that. You the one that got to be honest with yourself. Those are the bullshit standards. Everybody got standards. For real. Everybody got standards. And believe you me when I tell you, ain't shit wrong with that. You're supposed to, you're supposed to have standards. You're supposed to value yourself at a high level. You can't be out here shooting for the ground. You gotta have high hopes. You can't have low aim. But you also gotta know where you belong. You gotta know where you belong. See, what we miss is we don't understand that value and worth are two different things. Two totally separate things. See, that's why they tell us to shoot for the moon. And if we miss, we'll land amongst the stars. Because see, you can value something somewhere, all to find out that it's worth something totally different. I could take a chain. I could take a $50,000 chain right now to the pawn shop with the receipts. Show the motherfuckers it's real, all of that shit. I could take a $50,000 chain to the pawn shop right now. That man gonna look at me. If he look at me, that man look at me and tell me he only gonna give me $30,000 for it, then I gotta play ball. Especially if I know I want that money. I gotta play ball. See, it becomes more of a critical situation at that moment. But see, now it's take it or leave it. See, shit get different then. So, you can tell yourself whatever you tell yourself. I'm valued at this amount. I watch Shark Tank a lot. Motherfuckers go in there with their business at shit, valued at they value them at a high valuation. All to find out it's worth something totally different. And that's where you get your real understanding at. But see, it's take it or leave it. So while you walking away from shit, while you turning down some shit that's not, that you think not good for you, or while you turning down some shit that is good for you, while you rejecting your realities, just know it's musical chairs, fam. And now you starting to see chairs getting taken away. See, the game's starting to change now. It's getting different. Us as humans, we're naturally wired for companionship. Nobody is meant to be alone. Ain't nobody meant to be alone. Biologically, we release oxytocin when we hug and kiss our partners. They say a 6-second kiss and a 20-second hug can work wonders internally for our bodies. It can work wonders for our hearts. It can work wonders for our minds. Oxytocin is known as the bonding hormone, and it helps reinforce our need for closeness. The shit you ain't even know you needed. Which is one of the same reasons why they say babies need that skin-to-skin contact. That shit necessary. What else? It helps with our mental stability. Because we know we're not meant to be alone, that shit keep us from going crazy from isolation. Social isolation has been linked to anxiety. It's been linked to depression. It's been linked to cognitive decline and even shorter lifespans. What else? It's a benefit. We get emotional fulfillment. All we want to do is love and belong. Companionship, even fucking animals. Companionship, however you get it. It's one of those basic physical needs. It helps give our life that depth and meaning that we truly desire. All of these things are important. But when we limit ourselves and when we take away from our own chances, when we take away from our chances at these basic human necessities, it makes me question our judgment. What are we thinking about? What are we thinking like? I be looking at motherfuckers crazy when they start to tell me their preferences and their expectations. And I get it. I respect motherfuckers. You can have your expectations. You can have your preferences. But man, I be hearing some of the wildest, some of the most immature, some of the most superficial shit, and I be amazed by the fucking nerve. I be shocked at the nerve. For real. And see, those be the reels. Those be the posts that go viral on social media. Motherfuckers be saying the most goofy mark, bimbo ass shit. Niggas be body shaming and be frail as hell they damn self, balding in certain areas, or fat as hell and won't even go to the gym. They ain't got the nerve to sit their ass up there and talk about something what he expect. Man, look, bro. How you talking? How you up here talking? Women say shit like, he needs to be making X amount of dollars. He needs to be able to cover my pseudo-celebrity lifestyle. Because, a lot of women, they think they're celebrities. And they don't even be employed their goddamn self. Or if they are, they don't come nowhere. They don't come nowhere near making the amount that they're expecting they gotta make. How you disqualify a motherfucker, shorty? What rule are you measuring with? Are we even looking in the mirror at this point? Like, what reality is there? Even a reality in the shit we saying, in the shit we doing, in the shit we expecting? Cause see, that Pop the Balloon show got y'all fried. That should be exposing them dumbass mindsets of how we miss out on good people by dismissing them for shit we know we could change. Shit we could change. Check out the malarkey. I be hearing shit like, oh, I popped because I didn't like how he was dressed, or I popped because he didn't have any tattoos. I popped because I popped because she didn't have any goals, or she had too many piercings. All that's some shit you can change or get around, or you can add to them. You can add to that. It makes me want to ask. It makes me want to ask, like, what are your capabilities? What do you got in you? What can you help a motherfucker with? What can you help a motherfucker change? Are you a difference maker? You know, shit. You can change how a person dress. You can help them get better jobs. You can make them. You can help them make more money. Man, I swear to God, I remember a long time ago, back in my single days, I was trying to holler at a chick, and she turned me down, Joe. I ran into her, I liked her, I shot my shot, she turned me down. I'm cool with that. I could hit no. You know, I missed. I ain't cool. But she said she didn't want to holler at me because I ain't had no braids. You know, I'm bald now, but I wasn't bald at the time. I had some waves and shit at the time. But she said, I ain't had no braids, so I ain't make the cut. Braids. What Soulja Boy saying? Braids? Braids. On some real shit. I can't make this shit up. But needless to say, I dodged a motherfucking bullet. I swear to God. Motherfucker ain't want to holler at me because I ain't had no braid. I dodged the bullet. You know what I'm saying? Because see, you can get a person to change their, you can get a person to change their lives for the better if you're the right influence. But we don't be shit ourselves. We'll be shit ourselves, and we want to walk around this motherfucker acting like we got forever to find love, but we walk around this motherfucker acting like we perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. That's what you gotta understand. We gotta start looking in the mirror and realize that the hourglass is running the fuck out. And pretty soon, that little value we was walking around holding on to, that shit ain't gonna be worth a damn. That shit gonna be worth nothing. And don't forget, this shit happen in the working world too. Not just relationships. This shit happen at work. Motherfuckers pass up on good jobs because they don't want to travel. Silly shit. Silly shit. They don't want to do the extra travel. They don't want to have to do all that extra work. It's more money. It's not going to be more money and no extra work. It's not going to be like, come on, fam. Have some fucking sense. You passing up on opportunities repeatedly. That's what's going to leave you poor. That's what's going to leave your ass miserable. Because you can't stop the inevitable. You can't stop the inevitable. Unfortunately, there's this thing we go through called a biological evolution. We go through that shit, we fall out of what we like to call our quote unquote prime. We fall out of that. And that's when that belly start to poke out. Or that's when them breasts start to sag a little bit. That's when that hair start to go away. Or you start to get them cow licks. Excuse me. You start to get them cow licks. You start to get that hole in your head. You start to get that George Jefferson. Whatever it is, the look of life starts to take over on your ass. Now you start to look like all them kids you had. Or you start to look like all that turning up, all that shit you was doing. You look like the gym times that you missed. You start to look like all that. For real. And cause see, once life start kicking your ass, you can see you've been holding on to all that bullshit. You've been holding on to all them bullshit mantras for so long. That shit costing you. All that shit you used to say. All that bros before hoes. All that lame niggas be quiet. What the song say? Broke boys don't deserve no coochie. I know that's right. All that shit. Whatever you've been saying. It ain't working no more, family. Because now we looking at you. Now we looking at you. All this time done passed. And you mean to tell me ain't nobody buy that shit? Ain't nobody want it? Yeah. You passed up on the ones and you might have felt like you had a good reason to, thinking that the right one was gonna come. Ain't nobody buy that shit? What? You had a lot of inventory in that man of yours. Now you're at a point where you gotta end up doing what you swore you was gonna never do. Now you're doing the shit you thought you would be doing had you took the girl with a little extra weight. Now you gotta do the shit you would be doing had you dated the girl who already had a couple kids. Had you took the motherfucker that was making $80,000 instead of $100,000. Like you've been shouting. Had you took the shorter guy. See, you ain't see the upside with none of that. You ain't see where you could benefit to that. You ain't see where you could add to them. You only saw how you could come up. Because you didn't see how you could come up, you left it alone. You ain't think about love, but you ain't think about what was good for you in the long run. Everything else they did, everything else they could do, everything else they were matched. All the other shit matched your list. But the one thing that was a deal breaker, you just couldn't live with that one flaw. That shit was just, you couldn't handle it. That one thing, that money, that whatever. 9 out of 10 things. You couldn't live with that one flaw. Now you're doing what you ain't want to do. Because now you settled. Now you got to take what's left. Now you got to take the butt piece of the bread. Who like the butt piece? Nobody. But now you finna get it. Now you finna get it. Now it's yours. You see, you was all honorary. You was all high and mighty before when you was passing up on the good people. You know, you just knew someone was going to buy you at the MSRP. The manager suggested retail price. You knew a motherfucker was going to grab you down. You thought motherfucker was going to get everything you was asking for. Nope. I got news for you. It don't work that way. See, you knew that 80-20 rule. You knew about that shit. But you thought it was going to be different for you. For some odd ass reason. You thought it was going to be different. And you let them all pass. You gave them all up. You saw that check. And you knew they was finna stop the music. You saw them get up. You saw them stand over at the radio. You knew they was finna stop the music, but you took a gamble. And you kept walking. Now your ass short. And now you gotta watch them lowered expectation couples. Now you gotta watch them thrive. Now you gotta watch them have what you held out for. No diss to them. You know, but shit, you see them odd ass couples, them strange ass couples that you feel like, how did they find somebody? You've seen my 600-pound life. Them motherfuckers, they go to them doctor's appointments, they go with somebody. They don't be single. Them odd ass relationships, they don't be single, fam. No, they do not. They don't be single. For real. When they get to that point, when you start to see shit like that, then you gotta go back to the drawing board. See, it's different now. It's a whole new game now. Now you got to come up with a whole other plan. Now we got to see what else we got to do. And we got to do something fast because now we watching these chairs get steady taken away. And all the remaining players and everybody else that's left, they seeing the same shit too. So now they're starting to get a little bit more aggressive. Now they're starting to get a little bit more smart. They're starting to move a little bit more strategic. And now you got to do the same thing too. But shit, they getting smarter and they realizing that they may not get a seat if they keep squandering their chances. So they're trying to do something different now. So you got to change your thought process. You got to make some adjustments. You got to be okay with making them adjustments. But see, the key to it, you got to think about it. You got to look at it differently. It's not necessarily lowering your standards, but the thing about it now is more so refining and prioritizing your standards. You got to get a little different. You got to see what, you got to see what's going to change. And so we can't forget that we set our own filters. We set our standards. And so we could tweak and adjust them however we want to. Shit, we be making this shit matter. And we make them reflect what truly matters for a long-term compatibility and fulfillment. That's what you got to make matter. We got to learn the difference between a preference and a core value. When we know the difference, we got to choose what's best for us in the long run. Don't make the wrong decision. You got to be able to ask questions, and you got to be able to have an answer. Ask questions like when you deciding on shit, like if a motherfucker got to text you back or not, or if you want to hold on to bullshit like a person's interaction on social media. Man, all that shit fake. That shit don't matter. What you got to understand, you got to ask yourself: is it a preference or is it a core value? How that person act? Who is that person as a real human being? But see, you could be open to preferences, but those core values, those are the ones that's non-negotiable. Are you protecting or are you limiting yourself with this criteria? But so you can be limiting yourself. But so you got to ask yourself and find out, can you be flexible? A lot of times we add on from previous relationships out of fear. We just be stacking on the shit that happened in the last relationship. Now we want to make it hard on the next motherfucker. And these don't even be real things. These don't even be real rules. It's just we add this on out of fear. It went so bad the last time that we just want to set the bar high. Extremely fucking high. Higher than what the average person would want to naturally meet just by being a decent motherfucker. So you want to set the bar that high, and now you want to let them fall short. You out here looking for a fantasy. You're looking for a fantasy instead of a fit. And that's the shit that's going to leave you old and lonely. I remember I was watching Martin one time, and it was that episode when, when Gina was giving him a hard time about marrying him. He didn't want to marry her and all that other bullshit. And she got tired of him wasting her time, so she left. She took a job some motherfucking well. Y'all watch motherfucking Martin. Y'all know how this shit go. And then he was at his crib. He was playing poker with some of the guys and shit. You know what I'm saying? He was on this high mighty shit. He was talking his thing. You know what I'm saying? He was talking this shit. You know what I'm saying? And on the way out, he was thinking he was the man. And on the way out, one of the older players was talking to him about how he lost his woman the same way. Martin's stupid ass, he still ain't get it. He still didn't understand. When he was walking out, he left him with something. He told him, he say, look, man. He say, old fools used to be young fools. And he walked off. He left him with that. And then he put that on his mind. And Martin sat back and he pondered on that. And you know what he did, right? You remember the wedding episode? He married Gina. He stopped wasting that time. He stopped bullshitting. Cause see, and this is for the motherfuckers that want to play. You got motherfuckers that want to see. You know what I'm saying? This is for the people that want to see it at the end of the day. Not for them prideful motherfuckers that like to lie to themselves. You got motherfuckers that swear they don't want to see. You got motherfuckers that swear they don't want a relationship. They don't want a family. Yeah, alright. Sexismus is real. Only the motherfuckers that don't have it are the ones claiming it ain't everything. You know what Drake said in that song? Niggas with no money act like money isn't everything. Sexismus is real. When you ain't got that shit, because you don't have it, and you don't want to look crazy about not having it, you want to tell yourself, it ain't all what it's cracked up to be. Fuck it ain't that, I don't need it. You want to lie to yourself. And you can if you want to. Go on and do your thing. But see, understand this. That's called stinking thinking. And we got to get in control of that. We got to let go of that bullshit checklist, and we got to focus on how you feel around that person. How that person make you feel, rather than holding on to what a person look like. Shit. If they good, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, those are all good in my opinion. Shit, but honestly, what you got to pay attention to is, do I feel emotionally safe? Can I be myself around this person? Do I like who I am around this person? Is there mutual respect? Is there effort to love me? Is there chemistry? Is there some kind of foundation that I can see, that I can grow with and build on? Can I see myself living here? Can I see myself growing here? Can I see myself being with this person? Can I find this person's internal and external beauty? See, ain't nobody ugly out here. Ain't nobody ugly out here. You might have to do it a little bit. You might got to do it a little bit. You know, you might have to take a motherfucker to the dentist. You might have to change a motherfucker diet. You might have to change your wardrobe. You know, you might have to take a motherfucker to the gym with you. All of this shit you could change. You might have to change some hairstyles. Whatever you think needs to be changed, you can do it. If you know you about real love, if you know you about that person, you can do that shit. For real. Look at it as like you found in the gym, you found in a diamond with dirt on it, mud on it. You ain't gonna walk away from that motherfucker and tell people, yeah, girl, yeah, G, I found a diamond, Joe, but that motherfucker had dirt and mud on it, so I left it there. You ain't never finna say no shit like that. So dust that person off, clean that person off. Do what you gotta do, especially if you can. Especially if this motherfucker only need one or two things. I love buying used cars. So you buy a used car, the term used car will fuck you up and make you walk away from it. But that motherfucker might just need a sensor. Give it here. That motherfucker might just need some slight suspension. Some suspension work. Whatever it is. Something small that a person not paying attention to or walk away from. And they want the shiny thing. I just went and got a nice car. You want the same car off the lot, then you finna waste your time. You gotta be careful. You gotta let go of that bullshit checklist. You gotta create that culture that's missing. Whatever is missing from that person, you be the one to put it there. Fill them voids. Be the thing that you want. Become the partner that you seek. You know what I'm saying? For real. Sometimes we set standards that we wouldn't even meet our goddamn selves. I remember one time David Mann, I seen the real David Mann was talking to a group of people and he was telling them like, look, make a list of the perfect person, the perfect relationship, or all the things you want this person to look like, all these things that you want this person to do, be, make, etc. He told them to do all that. He told them to take their time and write it out carefully. Then he told their ass to become the list. Become the list. Because see, once we refine our standards and we get a little bit more accurately measured with our expectations, then we give ourselves a chance to get a seat. Don't forget this musical chairs, Joe, for real. Refining your standards is choosing what really matters over what just looks good on paper. For real, like I said, yeah, he might be getting that money, but now he got your ass on a leash. Well, yeah, she doing, she doing what looks good. She ain't good for your soul. She don't know how to take care of your home. She ain't domesticated at all. She don't know how to cook, clean, sweep. She just know how to shake ass. That's cool. All right, cool. But if you refine your standards, you start focusing on what really matters over what just looks good. Or how you gonna look to the girls, or how you gonna look to the fellas. It's not lowering your standards. It's aligning them with your actual goals, with your actual needs, with your actual growth, which is what's attractive, which is what's empowering, and which is what's real. Which is why a lot of times women be asking men, if you like going to the strip club so much, how come you don't want them women? And it's not that you paint those strippers a certain kind of way, but you know what you want. That might necessarily be the image I want. I want what's good for me internally. For real. Entertainment and all that shit, sometimes it's flashy. Sometimes it's quick. Well, a lot of times it's quick. All the times it's quick. It's temporary. And we be wanting what's permanent, what's good for us in the long run. Same thing with women. Can he take care of you? You gotta really start to look deep and see how well that man treats you. What does he do for you? How does he display his love for you? Can he take care of you with what he has? See, you gotta see how that man operates. You got to see how that woman operates. You got to see how good that woman is for your life. Just look at the numbers. Just look at the numbers. The ratio says that it's more men than women on earth. So by that stat alone, a lot of people are going to be single forever. So you might as well revise that motherfucking list now. If you think, if the shit that you got on your list right now, and you want to hold on to it and it got you high and prideful, if it ain't getting you the results, you may want to revise that thing. You may want to look at that again. Take a second look. Check it twice. And see, you got to rethink that logic. You got to improve that logic to try to make yourself a little bit more marketable. Ain't nobody perfect. Nobody's perfect. But there is somebody perfect for you. And if you open your eyes and see that there are matches, that there are people who will fit your life, and you got the power to get ahead of your hourglass, you got the power to get the head of it sinking all the way down, then you ain't gotta worry about taking what's left. Sit your motherfucking ass down and do it fast. Don't choose the chair. Don't choose the chair a few steps down. Cause see, especially when it's one right in front of you, don't be that dumb, fam. Don't be that dumb. Don't be that dumb, because the music is getting ready to cut off. Get your ass in the chair, or get ready to get your ass left out. It's musical chairs. Thanks again for tuning in to the Trent the Truth Show. Please make sure you like and subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. Follow us on social media, Trent the Truth. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you want to be a guest, email me at TrentTheTruthShow@gmail.com. Again, that's TrentTheTruthShow@gmail.com. Thanks again. Tell your friends. Watch it together.